What we saw today with Nikki Haley was quite interesting because we also saw for the first time, at least in this run, in the last few days, her mention the words President Trump as part of her journey. It has been complicated maybe up until this point to do that because he's already in it. And now she will be the first announced competitor of his. And we know the following that Donald J. Trump has. It's on. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts, Kayleigh McEnany and Emily Campagno. Joining us from Fox Business, correspondent Jerry Willis and former Army intelligence captain and senior advisor for vets on duty, Jeremy Hunt. Great to have you.
Great to be here with you all.
The media already have launched attacks on Governor Nikki Haley. Politico is accusing the Republican, a daughter of Indian immigrants, we heard a little bit about her story from her there, of, quote, having an on-again, off-again relationship with her race. In a piece titled Nikki Haley's Complicated Racial Dance, it says in 2001, for example, she reportedly listed her race as white over her voter registration card 3 years before she entered into elective politics. Haley has never publicly addressed her reasons for doing that. The ladies of The View also pounced on Haley, something they've done before with her and other Republicans of color, of course. This time, Sunny Hostin accused her of using her race as a political tool. By the way, Sunny's first name is not Sunny, but we'll get into it later.
So when she wants to say the right thing, I think she's very much a political grifter and a chameleon, and the bar is very low because it's on the ground.
Jeremy, what is your response to that and also to just seeing Nikki Haley for the first time officially on the campaign trail?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was just talking about this with my wife last night, and we saw that piece about Politico saying, oh, it's this dance on race. But really, it's a dance that a lot of progressives do when you have a person of color that actually doesn't fit their narrative. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how they kind of dance around and try to find, grasping at straws to try to find a way to make sense of this. But look, I mean, Ambassador Haley, she looks strong up there. I think it's great that Republicans, we have such a deep bench of folks who are coming up that are young, that are not septuagenarians or octogenarians like we do at other
You know, those are my favorite words.
And I think it is, I really do think that it's time for fresh faces. It's time for someone who can actually unite folks. And so, but you know, it's going to be a tough fight. The primary's coming up. I'm just excited that finally we are getting to a place where we can get beyond this Biden era. We're almost, this proves to me that, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel here as we go into 24.
Kayleigh, what is the toughest part of the fight for Nikki Haley?
Well, the toughest part of the fight for her is, I think, going to be taking on Donald Trump. You listened to her speech there. She mentioned Joe Biden several times, but President Joe Biden is not her opponent right now. Sure, she hopes that he will be, but currently her only opponent is the former President Donald Trump, and we didn't hear her mention him other than a nod to the fact that she was appointed to UN ambassador by him. So she'll have to take him on. That'll happen on a debate stage. I think it was very smart of her to declare right now, because being the only person in the race against President Trump at this moment, she got a lot of media attention. We'll be talking about this now and for days to come, versus the stream of others who will come in after her, likely Pompeo, Pence, all of the others as we await for potentially the biggest name to come in, which is Ron DeSantis. I do think when you look at Nikki Haley's polling, she was at about 1%, now she's at 3%. She was the hottest name in Republican politics in 2011 to like 2015, I would say. This is the case, what you're watching right now, polling at 3% for Governor Ron DeSantis to get in now. People say, will he get in? Will he wait? How can you wait when you are currently the hottest governor in Republican politics, seeing how hard it is to regenerate that attention almost a decade later?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Emily?
Yeah, thanks for that. And I also thought what was interesting was her message to her fellow Republicans. You know, she said we've lost 7 of the last 8 popular votes. Our cause is great. Our messaging is failing. We are failing to convince the majority of Americans and the majority of our party that we've got the right messaging. We've got the right execution. I appreciated her line that true national unity comes with emphasizing a national purpose, the right national purpose, the right national identity. I think that was a veiled blow to the current president, who, remember, touted his ability to be a unifier in chief, has failed miserably at that. You and I talked about earlier, Kayleigh, the sort of sacrificial lamb element versus the all press is good press. And she's been obviously open to attacks from President Trump, who came out right away and said, what was she doing in 2018 after she left the ambassadorship? She immediately joined the private sector. She was making $200,000 as speech. Why didn't she stay? If party is so important over self, why didn't she stick around through those 2018 midterms?
Right.
And she sort of just reemerged then in 2020, like we were talking about earlier, which some can then say, well, that was a precursor to 2024. So that's some of the criticism now circulating. To your point now, if others jump in the fray, I wonder what will then be said.
And I'll say, too, even in 22, you know, a lot of folks were coming out, a lot of different people, prominent leaders were coming out supporting candidates. I was on the trail. I will say Ambassador Haley is the only one that actually showed up in Georgia for me. So I will say that matters a lot, who actually sent funds and actually did what it takes.
And you said the crowds were big.
And the crowds were big. I mean, a lot of people were coming out to support. So I think that matters, too, is, you know, who's actually putting money where their mouth is and actually sending supporting candidates that are trying to make a difference.
Speaking of money,
Absolutely.
she's going to have to compete with Tim Scott potentially in her own home
That's
state
true.
for those
Right.
money and those
That's
donations.
true.
So she'll have interstate competition there.
Yeah.
And
Before we go on, just 1 second, Jerry, I want to ask our team if we have that little bit of Nikki Haley from moments ago where she talked about the 21st century versus the 20th century and that generational shift that has to be in politics. Our team will let me know. Jerry, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add that I really liked this speech. I thought it was really well written. It was well put together. But I have to tell you, she's great at defining the problems, not so great at telling you what the solutions are, how she's going to drive forward. And I think with Nikki Haley, that's the big question. Who is she? What would she do? We're familiar with her. We've seen her. And now let's see what the details are.
So you mentioned the usage, Jeremy, of race and gender and kind of compartmentalizing the voter as politics a lot of times on the left, almost exclusively to them.
Oh, yeah.
They do it a lot. But the other issue that's come up because of President Biden really is age. And Nikki Haley hit on that a little bit. Let's watch.
We won't win the fight for the 21st century if we keep trusting politicians from the 20th century.
So Kayleigh, contemporaneously, you and I were watching and you said, well, that's also a shot at former President Trump.
You know, but then I gave pause because what's interesting to me is that was very clever on her part because it seems like a veiled shot at, you know, the older generation of politicians. But President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, was not a 20th century politician. He wasn't a politician in the 20th century.
That's true.
Only recently. So it was a way you could glean from that what you wanted, it being an attack on an older generation of leadership, or just an attack on President Joe Biden, which maybe that was her opening entree of how she plans to attack her only opponent right now, which is the former president.
Right.
Jerry, talk to me, if you would, a little bit about this idea of South Carolina. You've seen Democrats toying with that state. Oh, we got to make it the first primary. It's got a tremendous number of black voters, well over a million, in fact, non-white registered voters. 73% in a Fox News voter analysis in 2022 put the black vote there at 22%. When you break that down to party, 34 are Dem, 59 lean or are Republican voters, 7% independent. I mean, there is room for Nikki Haley, but what will happen if Senator Tim Scott becomes
It's a great question.
the next
Scott
candidate?
is such a big personality. People are so
He's
drawn
also
to him.
African American, and that's
He's
great.
African American, and people know him now, right? Like, he's a known quantity. What's interesting about South Carolina, it's growing like topsy. Population is going down there because of the low tax rates. It's very much like Florida in that way, very conservative. So I think Tim Scott might be the pick. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Last quick thought, Emma.
I think. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Last quick thought from you.
Well, the left has already come out sort of swinging toward Nikki Haley, right? So we had a Politico article that you mentioned earlier, that she's in a racial dance. We have The View, that sort of reminder and calling her racist and saying she's not leaning in to her race, sort of questioning her priorities. Vanity Fair article that's essentially already smearing her and comparing, saying Nikki Haley's 2024 pitch, America's awesome if you compare the U.S. to countries committing genocide. So there's zero engagement from the left whatsoever in terms of her accomplishments as governor, her accomplishments as ambassador, her accomplishments since then. Instead, they are immediately ripping her apart on those same concepts that the left has been hammering these last 2 years, especially, that has just been dividing the United States. So unfortunately, she's sort of combating a different type of battlefield right out of the gate. That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, that's really well put. You know, and with Sunny Hostin, I just point this out because it's been written in recent days. She picks on Nikki Haley because she doesn't think her name, and I was watching that day, sort of leans toward what her background would be. But Sunny is short for a Sunneon, I think is how you pronounce it. Right. And that's not fair. I would never pick on Sunny for that.
And
None of us would.
Well, that story's been totally debunked.
You can use whatever nickname you want to use.
Nikki's Indian and it's on her birth certificate. So to your point, there was zero veracity whatsoever, but unfortunately it's been carried by the left.
They'll grasp at straws, as you put.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.